Alright, hi everybody. Welcome back. Today we are going to go through kind of a off-the-wall brew that I had recently and was excited to try out. It came about in kind of an interesting way. It was a mix of a few different ideas that came together. Two main ones. So one was the other day I watched a video that Brian Koval and Chase, also known as Strifo, put out together where they were walking through Chase's 4-color Punishing Dak build. Type of Magic I absolutely love, so of course I enjoyed the video. And one of the things that he had mentioned was that, in these blue-black mirrors where both players have Orcish Bowmasters, the game tends to slow down quite a lot. There's a lot more draw going happening because you don't want to cast a Brainstorm into a Bowmaster or a cantrip like that, and you also kind of just don't want to run out your Bowmaster just willy-nilly, because if you play the first one and your opponent plays the second one, they kill yours, and then of course they have some more value. They got value off of it while also having Bowmasters in play, so the game's kind of slowed down a lot. The other seemingly unrelated idea, but they actually kind of connect, was that there's going to be a ban announcement in the next week or so. And whenever there's a modern unban announcement, people always ask, is it finally time for Splinter Twin to be unbanned in modern? And everyone will have their takes on that. Is it too good? Is it too bad? And one of the things that I had thought, I don't really have a stance either way. I don't play too much modern, but two things that I had thought were that there's been some good creatures that have strong ETBs, the Evoke Elementals. And then the other thought I had that ended up not coming to fruition in this deck, but in a slightly different build that I started with and then eventually ended up here, was that Deceiver Exarch can untap the One Ring, which I thought was a pretty powerful interaction. It is a deck that so this was kind of like my start, was this Jeskai deck, Jeskai Twin with Deceiver Exarch and the One Ring, thinking that whenever I'm adding a combo to a fair deck, one of the big decision points that I like to make is how can I best turn these combo pieces into not bad cards to draw by themselves. And so the idea of if you draw Exarch alongside the Ring, it's actually pretty good. It cycles you through a turn, powers you out. That's a strong synergy that is in and of itself probably wouldn't make the deck, but it raises the floor of these combo pieces. So that was kind of the start of the idea. And then I was okay, well, what else goes good with Splinter Twin? The Evoke Elementals go really good, and the black scam package is already very strong. So I was what if instead of playing the white cards, we play a black deck and we play Grief and Reanimate as a way to, apply some early pressure, get some early card advantage, and Grief kind of works well with the combo in the sense that you can look at your opponent's hand to see if it's safe for you to go to Exarch plus Twin. And then also there's kind of a fun combo in itself with Grief plus Twin, where if you put this on Grief and then you tap Grief in your opponent's draw step, you see the card they drew, and if it's a non-land, non-instant, you can take it. So this is also sort of a 2-card combo and makes this card, the floor on this card again is a little bit better. You can see we have a couple other creatures that we can combine this with, the one of Snapcaster and a few Orcish Bowmasters. And then one other thing that I really liked about this build is that it's a really, really good Fable of the Mirror Breaker deck. This is a card that I think is incredibly strong. We've definitely seen that in formats like Modern and Pioneer. But it has some issues in Legacy where your 3-drop slot is very, very crowded. There's so many good options to play in Legacy. And you kind of need the 2/2 token attacking to be somewhat relevant to the opponent, where like it push pressure on the opponent. So it's like you kind of want to skew slightly more aggressive, because the 2/2 suddenly becomes more valuable if your opponent's life total is under pressure, and it kind of compels them to act in a way to deal with it. Where if you're just playing a pure control deck, the token itself isn't particularly valuable, and the Fable becomes much less good if your opponent can ignore the 2/2. And so having the Grief Reanimate package, as well as this one of Troll to help swamp cycle, fix your mana, and also combine well with Reanimate, means that the 2/2 is much better. And then additionally, of course, the flip side Reflection of Kiki Jiki, which is not appearing too well on this thing, but it's like a Splinter Twin effect, but you have to pay 1 mana and tap this, so it doesn't go infinite with Deceiver, but it does still have the same lockout properties with Grief that the actual factual Splinter Twin does. So and then in addition, the loot 2 here is particularly valuable, because if you have these combo pieces that aren't useful in the moment, you can in fact turn them into real cards. And so everything just kind of felt like it came together right for this card, where it's checking all the boxes, where the 2/2 is relevant, the draw discard is relevant, and the flip side is relevant. In total, putting a lot of pressure on the opponent. And so I was very excited to finally find a deck that I could play this card in, because, like I said, I do think it's very strong, but it has some issues in a classic control build. Other than that, kind of the same things. Brainstorm Potter, Forest, blue cards. We're playing 1 Jace as card advantage. In 2023, this is a little bit outdated. You notice that, I started with a ring Jeskai build, eventually came to this, and you'll see there's no rings in here. And part of that is the scam package loses you a lot of life with Reanimate, and you have no life gain in these colors, or at least no real playable life gain in these colors. So the life loss of the ring felt like a little bit too big of a burden to bear, and so I went with Jace instead. It ups the blue count, and actually works pretty well with Grief, in that you can bounce the thing to the opponent's hand and then discard it. So that was the kind of like top end card advantage that I went with. I will say that before I started filming, I did play 1 match of this league just to make sure this deck wasn't a complete and total miss, and I did manage to win against Death and Taxes, which I guess is not too surprising. Bowmasters is really good in that matchup because they play a lot of X1s, and then the games go slow enough that you can start hard casting your Griefs and getting a lot of value. I know this deck tech was a little bit longer, but I thought explaining the creative process and creative seeds that went into the deck, as well as the transitions that it went through, was kind of interesting. I think that's how a lot of my ideas get built, is that I'll see a couple strong synergies that I want to exploit, and kind of go from there, and then kind of flush out the rest with things that are synergistic and powerful. And the synergy of Bowmasters slowing down the game is actually really good for the twin combo. This is definitely the type of combo that wants the game to go a little slower, get your mana set up, jockey a bit, and then when your opponent is not expecting it and your mana set up, you go for the kill. So let's see if we can do that a couple times. I'm affectionately calling this deck Double Scam, because of the Grief Reanimate package is one way to cheese a win, and then of course the Exarch plus Splinter Twin is the other. So yeah, let's jump right in. All right, we're here for round 1. Won the die roll, always good. You're against Otaba, which, if I recall correctly, he was playing blue decks. I see Ryan, and we have the combo right here. So I'm just gonna keep. I do kind of want to cast this Ponder. I'm not sure what I'm looking for. I feel like I want one more. This is weird. Maybe I shouldn't have pondered. Whatever. I'm just gonna keep. 2 fetch lands is a lot, but we'll just draw a blue card after this and then win the game. It's totally fine. Turn 1 Brainstorm. Very interesting. Maybe they're playing around Orcish Bowmasters and they already have a fetch land in hand. But we'll see how it shakes out. I didn't know if they were a Wasteland strategy. Some Urian decks play Wasteland, and so I feel so silly if I shuffled the extra lands and then, you know, kept a 3-lander. I won't show that I play black just yet. But I know I'm going to shuffle. Okay, so they went to discard. Night of Autumn. Interesting. Oh, well, Spell Pierce is really good. It makes me want to wait a turn, though, where it's like turn 4 Exarch, turn 5 Spell Pierce. I would Spell Pierce a Ponder. I'm going to Spell Pierce this Brainstorm. Because they're seeing 2 new cards, and I know they will miss the land drop, so this seems fine. If they force it, that's good for me, obviously. And they're probably going to discard next turn. I'm going to get blue-black, just so that... Oh, I messed up my fetches. This can't get Mystic Sanctuary. That's rough. Rough stuff. Never punished, of course. Of course, never punished. Now, do I want the Sanctuary? That's the next question. Because they're just going to go to discard here. So I could fetch Sanctuary for Spell Pierce. I could also just... I'm just going to draw, actually. Oh. Not the best draw. It's fine. But now I have Hardcast Force of Will up. Which I don't hate. They might have to go to discard again. I'm just going to take my natural draw. Okay, so that's my second blue card. So I think I will fetch Spell Pierce in the end step. I guess... I guess I should have played the Exarch first. Because... Yeah, okay, so I should have played the Exarch first and then gotten Spell Pierce because they know Spell Pierce is on top of my library, so they know that they need to force this, basically. Or it's like they would know they need to force the Exarch. Okay, so 4-color control. Usually a Blood Moon deck. I'm going to bring in these. I like 1 Surgical and 1 Nihil for the... for the Uros. This one's a maybe. I don't think I want the Force of Negations. Fatal Push is, of course, Well, okay, so it's good against the halfling. Go for the Throat is the weak link there. That one doesn't really do anything. I could take Sheoldred's Edict for Planeswalker, maybe. But of course, I'm already at 64 cards. Of course, of course, of course. We can trim on Force of Wills. Basically, I'm trying to just outvalue them. This is a matchup where I could conceivably just cut the combo and just be like a Grief, Fable, you know, deck. And just like win with Jace and From the Catacombs. I actually want to try that. This is like I never played Modern, or I just started playing Magic in Modern when Splinter Twin got banned, so I never actually played it myself, but this is a thing a lot of people would talk about back in the day, you know, is that you could board out the twin combo versus like very interactive decks, and you gain so much advantage by them having to leave up mana to potentially interact with it. I will keep. I'm not sure if I'm going to turn 1 Grief. If they play the halfling, I definitely will. Just so that I can't get got by anything too bad on turn 2. I fetched a basic. That one's not bad. It makes me want to pitch the Surgical rather than the Nihil Spellbomb. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Just that I don't need to Surgical Uro anymore. Is Carpet scary? Or is Green Sun scary? Carpet I can kind of play around. They wouldn't be able to recruit her next turn. Yeah, I'll take Green Suns, and then I can kill the... recruiter when it comes down. Carpet plus basic Forest does, of course, play around Blood Moon a bit. Maybe we take that back out for game 3. Oh, they just put Urian in hand. Okay. I suppose that allows them to Force of Will. I'm going to wait to see what they do before I decide if I want to cycle the Spellbomb. Just because I kind of need stuff here. That's the downside of Grief, is that you do just 2 for 1 yourself at the start of the game if you don't have the Reanimate. Yeah. Interesting. So I could target myself. That seems bad. I wasn't thinking about Leovold, but I probably should have been. Yeah, I just want to go next. I can't beat that. Well, now I know. So I'll take out Blood Moon. What do I bring in? Do I bring the combo back in? Maybe not. Maybe I just bring in the last Force. I'll bring in 1 Force Negation. Can hard cast it on a Green Sun Zenith, you know. I'll keep. I'm gonna ponder here. I was gonna say I'm looking for a Grief. Next turn I can Brainstorm. And then potentially Grief Reanimate. It did shuffle. Interesting. I think this is worth pitching the Sauron's Ransom. Okay, so they are an Allurin deck. So I will take the... I kind of want them to Force of Will this. Because then I can force back. And then it's like Grief versus the World. And their hand sucks. Yeah. I'll do it. I guess I can play around Carpet of Flowers a bit. And then I'm slower on Mystic Sanctuary. That's fine, I think. If they don't force, I'll just take the Brainstorm. Night of Autumn like literally just doesn't do anything. It's just a creature. Allurin's a combo piece. I guess this is like a 4/3 and it could race. That's close. I'm actually not sure what I want to take here. What is my plan? I guess my plan is to race them, so I'll take the creature. Hope that the Allurin doesn't end up being useful. Or that I find more discard to it. I could bring back a 4/3. I'm not gonna lie, I don't hate that. Let's just kill them. Let's just scam them. Let's just scam them out of the game. Hope they don't draw Uro. Yep, Urian in hand. Okay. Oh, Jesus. My draws have been excellent this game. Because if they go to tap out for the Allurin, or, you know, a Green Sun that they draw, that's fine. I could Spell Pierce that just to, like, slow them down, I guess. Could also, like, they could draw Swords to Plowshares. Yeah, I mean, I don't want them bouncing the Night of Autumn. And then, wow, completely skamazed. Yeah, so I guess that's the advantage of playing this sort of combo, is that you can play a long grindy plan, or you can, you know, get on the board really quickly. All right, we'll be back for round 2. All right, here for round 2. I was just thinking about how just like quintessentially perfect that first round was, where it's just like the deck did exactly what we built it to do, where we got one scam in round 1 or game 1 with the twin combo, and then we did the Grief Reanimate thing game 2. This is a keep. Don't kill me turn 1. The downside of Grief, it's good interaction on the play, of course. So am I spell pierce? Am I pondering or am I holding him spell pierce? I think I'm pondering. This could be a Bowmaster deck, so I want to get this in under the Bowmaster. I'd really like to find a black card. I'm going to any order shuffle these. I'd really like to find a black card for this grief, basically. Force of Will is tempting, of course. All right, so it feels like they have a Bowmasters. A Bowmasters of the Orcish variety. I'm going to play this out. We might be getting to the hard cast grief point of the game. I'm going to spell pierce anything, including this Brainstorm. They haven't done anything proactive yet, and I'd like to keep it that way. That's a black card. I think this is worth it. I know we're getting close to the whole just hard cast it, but I kind of want to do it now. If they play a Bowmasters, we can kind of like see their hand, see what interaction they have. We can potentially Prismari Command it to kill it and then loot. Actually, okay, I've never thought about this interaction. If we get pinged twice from Prismari Command, kill Bowmasters. Interesting. All right, well, I'm going to do this. I'm surprised they forced the front half. I would force the Reanimate personally, but that's just me. If they're gonna force both halves, I'm also kind of okay with it. It's still a 3 for 2, I think. Yeah, okay. So 4 stays, force Marked Regent. Okay. Feels like they have another Marked Regent though, and that's of course bad for me. So we're getting to the spot where it's like kind of rough because we flooded, but we can't cast this Prismari Command to loot because it's like Bowmasters is a very obvious last card for them to have. I'm still going to not do it because they could just fetch twice in Bowmasters. Obviously, it makes their fetch a little worse, or makes their ponder a little worse because they don't have the fetch lands. But I really want to get this and not take a bunch of damage. I will fetch for, I guess, an Underground Sea here. I guess I will next turn get Reanimate back and try to do it again. I think. I could also Ponder. Get back the Ponder, and because they're almost out of cards in hand, right? If they fetch, I will make a treasure and loot in response, just because they can't Bowmaster me. So I guess I would get pinged by Bowmaster because it deals 2 damage and you loot, but the Bowmaster isn't dead until after. I might have just lied. I really want to kill the Bowmaster. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Wow, we're close to the hard cast on that, huh? I mean, what are we gonna do? Not hard cast it? I'm gonna take one more draw before I... Okay. That's a good draw. Do I want to play around Double Days? How likely am I to play... I guess the question is, how likely am I to play out the land? And I guess the answer is pretty likely because I have the Troll anyway. Oh no. How did I not tap black twice? Oh my god. Alright, alright. Cast. Black. Black. Red. Boom. Haha. No way. Do they have another Daze? No, Bolt. Okay. I'm okay with that. It was a little 2-for-1. And it kind of forced them to play out the Bowmasters in a suboptimal way. So I think once again I will take the draw step just because I don't know if I want Ponder. Chooses to not shuffle. That's not good. Darcy. Okay. So I could get the Ponder, deal 2, make a treasure. I kind of just want to race them though. So I'm going to take a draw step. A little unfortunate. Alright, now I will get the Ponder. And just play out this. So my plan is to... Right, they didn't shuffle again. That's pretty bad for me. Another Dragon Trade. That's... If I find removal, it's not bad. I'd also be more than happy to trade with this. I think I'm going to attack first and offer the trade. Alright. So now I'm going to... deal 2, make a treasure. Ponder. So I reanimate their Bowmaster. I ping the token. I go to 10. They hit me down to 4. I hit them down to 2, and then I die. So I have to shuffle this. Yeah, I mean, that works. I will fetch one more time. I just want to thin a land out of my deck, I think. So I'm looking for like Fatal Push and or I guess one Fatal Push doesn't. Oh, Fatal Push does it because I can kill it this turn. Go for the Throat doesn't actually work. Because I'd go to 4. Well, this doesn't win me the game, so I will choose pile 2. Now I have to decide if I want to wait a turn. I definitely want to wait a turn to Brainstorm, because I can't do anything with the card I draw off of it. And if they draw Bowmasters, it's just an unfortunate reality. So I need to draw 2 removal spells, basically, at this point. Interesting that they didn't draw the card. Okay, so I will Brainstorm, of course. I don't think Twin is good enough. Like, let's say I Ponder into Exarch. Well, that one's really close, actually, because I could Ponder into Exarch and then tap them down. Tap the Dragon's Rage down for a turn, and then win next turn. But I guess this wins in 2 turns anyway, so yeah, I'll just do this. Ponder. Again, Reanimate does not do it. These things are too big, so I will shuffle. I'm gonna Brainstorm. I should have thought about that a little bit longer, huh? God damn it. Where's my removal? I play so much of it. So I guess this can work because I have land instant creature sorcery in hand, so I'll put these 2 back. I think maybe I should have pondered first. Saw on 3 cards shuffled. Yeah. Yeah, that was actually really bad. I should have pondered first, seen 3 cards, and then shuffled. But it didn't matter. I was not drawing anything. Jesus Christ. All right. I swear I looked through like every single card in my deck and did not find a one of my 5, 6 removal spells. I suppose 7 if you count Exarch. Alright, well, what do I want? I guess Hydroblast stops Channeler. Pyroblast stops Murktide. Plague Engineer stops all of it. I like 1 Nihil and 1... Do I want Surgical? I don't think they're the Reanimator build. We looked at a lot of cards and didn't see any. Alright, well, close game, close game. Yeah, really close game. I don't want too many Pyroblast because, like, as you saw there, we want threats. So yeah, I definitely missequenced my stuff there. I felt so ahead and then just slipped away. Yeah, because like Brainstorm then Ponder, you see 5 cards, whereas Ponder then Brainstorm you see 7. So yeah, I missed out on 2 extra cards. Okay, one more cut. Could be this Jace. Obviously, it's kind of slow and clunky, but it is one of the few answers the deck has to Murktide. Although I guess you get a little more post board. Could be this Splinter Twin, also slow and clunky, requires you to keep a creature. But then, what are these extracts even doing here? What if we just cut both twins and play the 3rd Pyroblast? And I guess we could play a Blood Moon and cut an Exarch. And cut another Exarch and leave in 1 Force of Will. Alright. We're cutting the combo again. It seems like we're going to do that a lot against fair decks. Just because it is kind of thin value. I'm definitely keeping this. I'm just going to hope to draw a land or cantrip. Pyroblast and Hydroblast can buy us time against early creatures. So I'm generally okay with this sort of a game plan. Where are these last game, huh? Yeah, so that's one thing that maybe I need to reconsider with this card in particular, is that you really don't want to be killing and looting for Bowmasters, and so maybe there's like a similar card that does something better, you know? Interesting. Okay, so they thought about doing something and then they stopped. So feels like they have Ponder and Pyroblast. Okay, they have this and Pyroblast. I'm going to Hydroblast this and then a Swamp Cycle. I'll get a basic Swamp. I think. So it's like if they have 2 Wastelands, it's bad because I don't have blue. But if they have 1 Wasteland, it's bad because I don't have black and I have 2 black spells in hand. So, and this can make potentially a treasure token to fix my mana as well. That's fine. This destroys artifacts. I will Fatal Push this, just to be mana efficient. And to help deny them Surveils. They definitely have Bowmaster and Pyro... Or not definitely, but the cards I'm thinking they have are Bowmaster and or Pyroblast. Which might make this command a little bit rough to resolve, but no, because the Sanctuary's right here. Yeah, so... We'll see how it plays out. Of course. I definitely need to counter that. Or I can't play the game. That's one card I could consider in my sideboard for these decks. It is kind of a scammy card when you think about it. I definitely don't want to draw a land here, so I will fetch. Unlucky. I'm reading them for Pyroblast, so it's just like, it's really tough to cast this Prismari Command right now. I kind of need to draw a blue spell. I'm going to fetch a Badlands. I'm going to leave this in hand. Just on the off chance I get the loot off, you know. Okay, so I think it's worth it here. To loot and destroy target artifact. And the reason here is that if they Pyroblast this, they have to fetch. And so it hurts their Brainstorm. Yep. And I have good answers for like most things they could play. Yeah. And see, now they have to play out a 4th land, which is helping me stay somewhat even in card quality. Or, virtual card advantage, I guess. Yeah. But this game definitely drew out a little rough just because I drew this in a landlight hand, so I felt compelled to play it out early. So now I can't get back Prismari Command with it, and I don't have other ways to deal with artifacts right now. I should have brought this in. That was foolish of me. Yeah, we'll see how things play out. And also cycling this for a land and then drawing, 3 more lands in a row. It's like if we had 5 mana, we'd be close to hard casting it. So I think this just shook out a little bit rough. Although they are getting back Pyroblast, which is something I'm pretty happy about, all things considered. I don't have any blue cards in my hand. And, there's a blue card. I don't have any blue cards in hand, and most of the things I'm looking for are Griefs to hardcast. Also drawing 7 lands to their 4 is kind of rough. Obviously, I played more lands than... that's not even that true. They play 18 lands and I play 20. That's fine. I'll wait till the upkeep to see what they flip. Oh, this also stops the Snapcaster. That's rough. Yeah. Okay, so basically I'm going to use the Snapcaster to try and trade with the Delver or the Pyroblast. I'm fine with either outcome. Nice. I'm going to take the 1 just because it's not that threatening. And also prevents Flusterstorm shenanigans. That was a very good exchange for me, all things considered. Well, we're not dying to anything that soon. I will cast this. These can hit Murktide, so I'd like to save them. I would still consider us fairly behind, just because they have a lot of virtual card advantage right now. But we have time to draw out of it. So it's things like Grief can be a 2-for-1 if we draw it. Things like Fable can be a 2-for-1 if we draw it. And then also kind of as the game goes longer, they're drawing things like Force of Will and Daze that are not useful currently, you know? So it's like I'm fighting card advantage back. It's just not as on the table from my point of view. So we'll see how things go. We'll see how things go. We're not down and out just yet. We're not down and out just yet. We even have a Blood Moon somewhere in here that we're playing too. They drew another land. That's really good. That's what we needed. If I drew Blood Moon, I'd absolutely cast it here. My deck can function fairly... Oh, you can't hard cast Grief off of one land, huh? I'm going to use one Go for the Throat here and see if they force it. Who needs Swords to Plowshares, right? Yeah, that's definitely one deck building thing that I need to consider, is that, like, okay, you... If they have Force Double Days, I think I'm okay with that. Or it's like, if I'm bringing in Blood Moon, maybe I want to have a second Swamp somewhere in the deck so that I can fully enact my game plan. This is probably just getting bolted, though, is my guess. And I take a card from their hand. They could also force it. I'm happy with either one. Would I Pyroblast a Force? I think so. Just because this is like... Well, that's also fine. Pyroblast, Surgical. So I will take the Pyroblast. The Surgicals are not particularly relevant right now. And I am winning this race. So see, that's like what we're saying, where it's like they have the two Surgicals. I could cut the Reanimates and then just go back to the Splinter Twin package. If we get another game. Well, I'll play this. Do I want to start racing? Yeah, I do. Right now I'm winning the race. I have removal for their plays, and I think in general my top decks are better. On average. Because I have removal for the next two things that they're doing. I could go for the Bowmasters to, like... Oh, that was dumb. I should have Pyroblasted that because they have two Surgicals to shuffle away. I just kind of, like, mindlessly let that happen. That was bad on my end. Yeah, that was very bad. I'm going to take a draw step here. So they have 2 surgicals floating around. I think this is worth it. They have another Orcish. That's not so bad, actually. 5, 4, 3. It's like kind of the nuts. Potentially should have done this to play around a Bowmasters. Whatever. Yeah, like, I could have killed the token right away, because if they Bowmasters now in response... Okay, that's fine, actually. So their cards are surgical, but I guess one of them goes away. So one of them is a surgical that they will draw. I guess I want to wait for the draw step, because if their last card is Pyroblast... Or wait, okay. So what did they do? They played Brainstorm on my turn. And they put back 2 cards. So they drew 1. Okay, so the last card in hand is surgical. So I don't have to worry about the last card being Pyroblast. So I kind of feel like I want to cut the Reanimates and bring back the combo. I mean, I'll choose pile 1. What was the last card? It was a Grief. I'm actually just going to Brainstorm these 2 lands back. Yeah. Okay. This one I definitely want in. They play Delver, DRC, and Cage. Yeah, we're gonna YOLO it. Obviously, this package is strong, and like the Grief was good there, but it looks like they have a lot of hate for the Reanimates, and I want to turn that into virtual card disadvantage. I will keep this. It has the Blood Moon. I can fetch for a basic island and ponder. It has the Force of Will. Hopefully I don't die too fast, basically. And they did mulligan to 6, so their start might be a little less aggressive. Or it might be just as aggressive. That's fine. That's a great draw. I am still going to ponder here. Off of an island. Am I willing to 2-for-1 myself with the Grief to see their hand and know that the Bowmasters would be good? Because I definitely want the land. Because it could also like take a force, and then I just have to beat the Channeler and play the Blood Moon. basically. Yeah, I think that's what I want. I like the swamp a little bit more, so I'm going to draw that in case they search my Ponder or something weird, you know? That's good. I'm gonna force it. Obviously, if they have days, it sucks. Okay, they didn't have it. Oh, then they went right through that, so they absolutely don't have the days. Do I want Prismari Command? And do I want to play around Wasteland? I think the answer to both of those is yes. Okay, cool. I'm going to lead on the Fable, though, I think. Well, I am dying fast now. All right, if they didn't draw days, I have a really good play. Prismari Command deals 2 damage to any target. Target player draws 2 cards, then discards 2 cards. 2 here, you draw, you discard. Cool. We win the game. Because we deal 2 here, and then the 2 pings kill the last 2 things. And we have a 3/3. Obviously, we could still lose. You know, they could still get a Murktide in. That would be pretty big. I guess it wouldn't be that big, huh? They only have Brainstorm and Surgical in the graveyard right now. But that was sweet. It was very good. So they do have the Murktide. Obviously, when you let your opponent draw 2, discard 2, that will happen. So do I want to let them cast spells and potentially draw a force? Or do I want to kill this thing now? I'm going to kill the thing now. Okay. Okay. Potentially troublesome. So I think now I need to play out the... Huh. So that taps it down for a turn. Like in upkeep. So I could play the Fable. Get a treasure token. What am I trying to play around? I guess I'll attack first to see if they have Bowmasters. They drew Pyroblast. This is kind of bad. But I still get one more turn. I guess it's Pyroblast or Days. I'll just do this. I think this is the right line. It taps them down, it plays the board, it makes them spend mana on their turn if they have anything. And even it gives them one less draw at Pyroblast or Daze. Tap target permanent and opponent controls. Yeah, so sorry, giving them one less draw at Pyroblast or Daze I felt was worth it. I am just going to attack again. I think I just want to do this. Cut off some of their outs, you know? Like Bowmasters. Second. Okay. See, they drew Daze, so if we had waited one turn on the Exarch, that would have been really bad for us. If we draw a black card, we get 2, of course, Grief, plus go for the Throat the Delver and win the game. That counts. Okay. Got there. This is 5 and they're at 5. I don't know. It feels like a scam. Feels like we scammed them out of that win with a 1/4 that effectively gained 5 life, you know. Not sure that's always good enough for Legacy, but, you know, it's blue and has flash. We'll take it. All right. We're here for round 3 against Legacy Brew Pub. Pretty cool name. We have a nice little brew of our own. So I certainly can sympathize with what they're doing. I'm going to ponder off the Underground Sea here. I don't really want to fetch a basic island just because this might be required to get red mana. I'm going to shuffle this. Obviously, if we knew what they were on, keeping the Force of Negation would be desirable, potentially. But if like a Wasteland deck, it's really bad for us. Looks like Bloodstained Mire is not a good sign. It's usually the sign that we should have kept the Force of Negation. Yeah, probably dead. Drat. Well, if they don't go off this turn, we could potentially Bowmaster them. Yeah. I suppose that's what we'll do. If they're flashing back looting, that's quite good for me. Okay, I'm not sure what they're doing. I'm going to Bowmaster them. Getting a Volcanic Island. At least this way they can't really draw cards. Obviously, they're going to take our removal spell, which is not good. But if we draw land next turn, we can Fable. Fable can find us Deceiver Exarch and potentially get us the Splinter Twin combo. Okay, so they had to have drawn one of these two cards this turn, right? Because there's no way you don't just Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual, do it, right? Oh no. Oh no. Okay. That's better. Maybe they drew the Exhume this turn. I think that's what happened, is they drew the Exhume this turn. Or maybe they drew the Lotus Petal this turn. That would make sense, actually. Alright, so we've got outs. They aren't good outs. But we've got outs. Man, they're gonna just get like more removal spell or more discard and be annoying about it. Chosen cards: Dark Ritual, Badlands, Animate Dead, Thoughtseize, and Entrexa. Okay. Lame. Guess we wanted that Force of Negation, huh? Yeah. None of this matters. Game's over. Fatal Push showing you it's not Swords to Plowshares. Okay, so obviously put this back. We're past the point where this matters. We can Swamp Cycle for an Underground Sea. Cast the Ponder. Obviously shuffle this. Okay, so the problem here is that we die in we're at exactly 19, which is this hitting me twice even if we tap down one of the things. Yeah. Rough stuff. I'm not sure we can win here. Ah, we got him. We got him, boys. My army grows. Fear me. It feels so close. Ah, yeah. Dang it. All right. Dang it. Yeah, I think if they didn't have the Entomb there for the Atraxa, we're probably in okay shape. Edict, surgical. Nihil. Blood Moon's an option, but I think it's a bad option. I will cut the Fatal Pushes. Obviously, the Reanimates are quite good. Do I want this go for the throat type stuff? I think I do, just because like if we have Bowmasters in play, then Gristlebrand's not that good, and then we can like reanimate it, or not reanimate, but we can like kill it. The real question is, do we want the Splinter Twin stuff? I think we do. I think we just cut these Fables because they're kind of slow, and like one more card. One issue we have here is that if we grief them and can't reanimate it, they can potentially get back our grief and use it to screw us over. I'm not sure if that means that we aren't supposed to keep grief, because it's like if we do draw grief plus reanimate, we can actually kill them. You know, we take their thing, and it's quite good. This command's probably bad. And then I know they generally sideboard into Show and Tell, and that might be something for the Pyroblaster for. I think we're just going to rely on our Thoughtseize and Counter Magic for that. We could get the Troll. Do I want to control? No, I think this is what we want to be doing. Yeah, let's just do that. You could argue Hydroblast for Fatal Saluting too, but I think we're going to let Surgical deal with that. Yeah, I'll keep this. I'm not gonna grief here, of course. I hope they just don't discard me, you know. Would love it if one of these lands was a black card, obviously. Unlucky. I will fetch to thin, get a blue-black. Hey, not bad. Probably should not have let that resolve. Yeah, I almost certainly should have Force of Negation that. My thought was, I can just get back the Surgical, but I think the time horizon on that is too far away. So yeah, I should have Force of Negation that Faithless Looting. That was dumb of me. I think I'm behind enough that I'm just gonna hope that they go for the draw 7 here. Nice. I think I have to kill the Griselbrand, unfortunately. Yeah, okay. I think this is what we're doing. I guess I should have pinged one of them, this at them, to play on like removal or some shit. I don't know. Because if they have like Fatal Push here, I don't know why they would play this one. If only they were at one less. But obviously I got incredibly lucky. I'm not complaining here, of course. And again, I should have countered this. So yeah, 7 or 6 more pings on Griselbrand. And 1 at the opponent. This is very like... Oh no! That's lame as fuck. Wow, that's so stupid. Who the fuck plays Veil of Summer in their Reanimator deck? Yeah. Oh well. This one, again, this one's on me. I should have forced the Faithless Looting. It's just annoying because it's like, we have a good record. And I didn't want to ruin it, but... Alright. The deck does not want us to lose the game. The deck very much does not want us to lose the game. Despite my misplays. Yeah. Do they play Force so well? I swear, if I get Force here or some shit like that. They Surgical their own Griselbrand? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go to 3. That's a lot of lands. That's okay, though. So, put back 2 of them. And what do I do here? I could Sheoldred's Edict this and surgical them. But then I can't grief. I could grief them, pitch surgical. That seems wrong. I think I'm supposed to just pass, and then I can surgical, snap, surgical. Or Sheoldred's Edict, snap, Sheoldred's Edict, depending on what they do. Yeah, I'm gonna discard 1 of lands. I guess the upside of edicting there would be that I could attack for 3 and then they can reanimate something. So if they're on Show and Tell and Veil, kind of feels like they probably don't have basics. That's maybe a nod to Blood Moon, but I think that card's a little too slow, especially in the draw. But it's something to think about. I think it's hilarious that their Griselbrand can't really attack into mine, and mine can attack into theirs. So if they don't do anything, I will Edict in the end step. Of course, if they do something. All right. And we get to see their library. We can confirm that they have 2 basic swamps and a Magus of their own. So I think that our Blood Moon is not what we're doing. So they're on full 4 Griselbrands, 3 Archons, 2 Atraxas, 2 Mixum, yada yada yada. Okay, so just play around Magus basically is the answer, and don't get Veil of Summered. This time I will kill them. And save targets. Yeah, okay. I don't know if that would have put all the triggers on the stack. Okay, cool. Oh, and then also, no Show and Tell, even though they had the Underground Sea. Maybe it's a Cyber card? Okay, so we're on the draw. Do we want Fable to play around Blood Moon? Cut the Splinter Twins? I kind of like the Splinter Twin, where it's like if we get them in a spot where if we counter the first thing they're doing, we can potentially kill them quickly before they have a chance to rebuild. So I kind of like that. It still could be too slow, of course. Maybe we just bring in Hydroblasts for the Faithless Lootings and his extra blue cards. Yeah, I think that's what we do. I think that we win by countering their stuff and then reanimating it ourselves. That's kind of our win con. We're getting there with Jace and Grief. So let's just do that. And be a little less cute. It's never a bad thing to up your blue count. or increase your interaction. This has Force, Nihil Spellbomb, and Reanimate. So I'm going to hope that they can't kill me with discard on turn 1. That's fine. I guess I could have forced that and then played out the Spellbomb. But this is probably okay. I hate you for winning myself on discard, but maybe with Spellbomb that might have been correct. Stop that. Certainly that time it's not correct too, because the thing about Spellbomb is that you force one piece of discard, and then you play out the Spellbomb, and you don't have to worry anymore. I guess I am going to fetch for. Do I want to play around Magus? I probably shouldn't have fetched, so I could play around Magus better. Because I'm thinking, like, I want to play around Magus, but I also want to turn on Mystic Sanctuary quicker. That was just a mistake. If I had just gotten a basic swamp there, and then this gets a basic Holland. Stop that. Alright. I'm going to fetch for an island. What do they pitch? Dark Ritual. And I will Bowmaster them. I don't want them to like take and reanimate Bowmaster here. But yeah, if I lose to Magus, I will feel really rough and completely my fault. And yeah, sometimes you're a little rusty when you take a long break, you know? Sometimes. Although, okay, I'm not forcing this simply because I have the Bowmaster in play and I already have a force. So they're going to end up with one card in hand. I can counter that. I'd prefer to draw a different blue card so that I can potentially play Jace in a couple turns. And this is a real clock, you know, if they don't get the Atraxa in play. This can fetch a second island, which is nice. Now the Reanimate is shut off as an out, so it has to be Exhume or Animate Dead. I will definitely let that resolve. I'm going to let... Yeah, because they'll go to one card in hand, and then I just force that, and then this is lethal. God, this card is so ridiculous. It just kills so fast when left to its own devices, and if your opponent doesn't have an answer to it, and they try to draw cards to find an answer to it, or enact their game plan, it just kills you so quickly. Alright, we are here for the last round, for the trophy round. I'm going to keep this hand. Gotta play tight this time. We gotta play tight. Alright? No sloppy plays. Think about the spells before letting them resolve. They're on 5. I'm not going to ponder yet. They're likely combo, but... They're almost certainly combo, but... Well, I guess Ponder sees one more card. But if I draw a second piece of interaction, I can't even play it, because I only have one other blue card. So, Brainstorm could find me 2 things, I guess. I'm thinking oops. As far as cards or decks that mulligan to 4, Oops All Spells is definitely the most likely of such decks. And they didn't do anything. So I'm going to fetch. I will get an Underground Sea. That's a great draw. Makes me not want to Brainstorm here. Yeah, I'm going to wait a turn on the Brainstorm, just because if I don't find a blue card and they go off through 1 Force of Will, it's very bad for me. I will Brainstorm end step if they don't do anything, because I can hardcast Force of Negation the following turn. And then I win! Okay, so obviously play this out, and then what? Because, like, if I hide either of the combo pieces, I guess... I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to do it like this. Right now. I mean, I'm playing great. Obviously, they didn't do anything, so must be correct. It's actually really close. It's not strictly wrong, because you might want to pitch it to Force of Will. If you need to fight double pitch, you would want this as your last card. Is my thought, at least. Okay, cool. So yeah, so there was oops, their hand was very bad. I could have won a turn earlier. It's not strictly incorrect to not do so. Untap. Target permanent you control. Sure. But yeah, I do think I should have put the Prismari Command on top. Yeah, I should have put the Prismari Command on top and then fetched it away. That was really bad. Luckily, we are prepared for this matchup. I like the Null Rod's a maybe. What we don't want are these spells. The Fables, like we said, are a little bit slow. I like the Grief plus Reanimate package, actually. Because you can actually reanimate their thing and mill them on your turn, and then they could potentially just lose the game there. I could bring in Pyroblast for... Yeah, I'm going to do that, actually. I'm actually going to do that twice and cut a land. I'm going to cut the Badlands, because it does not... I guess I don't have to worry about non-basic land hate. I'll cut the Mountain, because it does not help with Sanctuary. And this can counter the Pact of Negation, which is a card you want to be able to counter. I'm leaving in exactly one Fatal Push. That might be wrong. Yeah, I'll cut the Fatal Push and bring in a Hydroblast for blue count. And then this slowly kills them, I guess. This kills them while also pinging the... But I guess I'm never killing them with this, huh? So I'm just going to bring back in the Fatal Pushes. This is exactly for Xantid Swarm. And if they turn one Xanthan Swarm on the play, this is too slow. So I will do this. Okay, let's do it. Let's get there. As I took a turn off, I didn't need to do have one force effect. Generally not quite enough, but sometimes cyber games are a little bit slower. Let's see what they did. They kept 7. I have a force effect. I have a ponder to look for more things, and I have an answer to Xanthan Swarm, so it's really close. It's like, what are the chances that I draw 2 0-mana interactions, where I have 6 forces and 3 surgicals? So it's like 9 out of 60. But I have to draw 2. I'm actually going to take a quick break and look up a Hypergeo for this. Okay, so there's only like a 28-30% chance that I would draw 2 free pieces of interaction. And I think that's low enough that this is good enough, just because if I make it out of turn 1, the follow-up's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, if they have it, they have it. There's no reason to. Force always gets hit by a thing if they have it. They have to go off this turn, so it doesn't matter. Oh, okay, cool. Didn't have it. Wow, nice. Trophy. So before I turned on the camera, I had one game versus Death and Taxes, just to kind of make sure that this deck wasn't completely terrible, before I start recording it. We did win that, and then the other 4 we played for you on camera. So that is a trophy run. I will be right back for the end of set review. All right, so end of set review. Obviously, had the best possible result. So definitely score 1 for the deck, score 1 for the idea. We got to see the different aspects of the deck in action. We saw some wins with a quick, Grief Reanimate plan. We saw some wins with the Twin plan, and saw some of our tech cards come in big. Fables look really good in any matchup that is going a little bit longer. I liked the Prismari Command. We had that huge blowout versus Delver, where we were able to kill both of their creatures alongside a Bowmaster. So that felt really sweet. I think Reanimate is just an incredibly well-positioned card right now. Of course, our deck is built to make use of it, but there's a lot of good things to steal from opponents' graveyards right now, as we saw in some Bowmaster mirrors, as well as, of course, first Red-Black Reanimate. And it didn't come up versus Oops in the last round, but it is a consideration versus Oops, is that you actually do have the chance to cheese them out, where you counter their payoff and then you reanimate it on your turn so that they end up decking on their turn. So yeah, it's something to keep in mind. But yeah, I think this card is incredibly well positioned. The Grief Reanimate package has been showing up good in a lot of shells. The Deceiver Exarch plus Splinter Twin game plan is obviously not something that a lot of strategies are incorporating. However, we definitely saw it, close out some games where, a regular control deck might have struggled to close something out, or maybe we were slightly behind, and the fact that we had this Oops, I Win button in our back pocket played really well. In addition, the combo pieces didn't feel like that clunky or weighing our hand down. We just had so much card selection and looting between our 3 drops here, and the fact that this can be put on some of our other creatures, all combined to feel quite good. And the fact that you can mix and match, you can cut the Twin package if you think your opponents are going to play too hard against that. You can cut the Reanimate package if you think your opponents are going to bring in too much graveyard hate. Like, you really have ways to dance around how you think your opponent is sideboarding into you and exploit that virtual card advantage of them playing cards that don't do anything from the 60 you're presenting. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. It was really fun to brew this and think of this idea, and I'm glad it worked out really well. So yeah, see y'all later. Bye.